Um, there we go now. Okay, I've been reading some of the questions that you guys have put up, and I do want to talk about them. But before we get to the questions, right, there was something that I did want to talk about. The other trend that I've seen, and there's another trend that I do want to change, right? So one was, I wanted you all to understand that selling fear is a very old strategy. Selling happiness works better. All my big cases out there are because I sell happiness. So a lot of people have asked me, Sanjay, how do you do such big premiums? How do you do big cases? The fact is, to close bigger cases, they need to feel comfortable in giving you all their money. I don't ask for some of their money. I actually ask for all their money, because your future is more important than your present. Your present has to be fun, but your future has to be protected, right? So when are they willing to put money into the future is when they see happiness in the future. When they see that the future is pretty much going to be looking just like the present, then why should I save? I might as well just live life as it comes, right? And we build up this mentality called the YOLO mentality. You only live once. The truth is, we're not in the YOLO generation. We are in the YODO generation. You only die once. You have to live every day, but you only die once, right? It's a fact, right? So we have to plan for the fun in the future as well. Now, when I joined this business many years ago, there was another thing that I was taught, and I'm going to try and break down these myths of what I was taught and what I do today. So what I was taught was, Sanjay, in the world of financial planning, it is about asset accumulation, asset preservation, and asset distribution. How many of you were taught that? When I joined this business, I was told, Sanjay, it's about asset accumulation, asset preservation, and asset distribution. And that's when I realized we actually don't like assets as people. Think about it. All of us want more and more income every day. What are we working for? More income. As we grow older in the world, as we grow older in this business, we are working towards more and more income. So it's actually about income accumulation. And we're talking about, after that, income preservation. I don't want to lose that income, because my income decides my lifestyle. I can have a lot of assets, but if I don't have income, my lifestyle is very bad. Your lifestyle is based only on one variable, your income. Your income decides the kind of clothes you wear. Your income decides the kind of food you eat. Your income decides the kind of house you live in. Your income is actually what decides your lifestyle, not your assets. And that's when I realized that it's about income preservation. There's only one product in the world that protects future income. Think about it. There's only one product in the world that focuses on future income, and that product is life insurance. There is no product that does what life insurance does. So it's about income preservation. And then it's about income distribution. Think about it. What do you want to give your children? Do you want to give them $10 million as cash right now? Or do you want to give them $1 million every year for the rest of their life? Which one would you choose? Think about it. What would you like to give your children? $10 million right now, or $1 million every year for the rest of their life? Could you please write down? What would you like to give your children? $1 million every year. So David says $1 million every year. Murli says, Jason, choose one. $1 million every year. Okay, Jane chooses. Cheryl, no, choose one. You can choose 10 million right now or $1 million every year for the rest of their life. Art says 1 million. Peace says 1 million. $1 million for the rest of their life. Okay, sorry guys. I made a mistake. I can't give you $1 million. Sorry, I can give you 10 million right now, or I give you $500,000, 500,000. So $500,000 every year for the rest of their life. Which one would you choose? Sorry, I can't give you $1 million. I can only give you $500,000. Which one would you choose? $10 million right now, one time, $10 million right now, one time, or $500,000 every year for the rest of their life. Which one would you choose? You can't choose $500,000. Sorry, I mean million, $500,000. Which one would you choose? $500,000 or 10 million right now? Wow. Okay. So Pedro says half. Ting says half. Crystal says half. Arzu says half. Jasmine says half. Cheryl, we'll come to that question. That's an objection. Juna says half. Sanjay says half. Angeline says half. Okay. Kilum says 10 million. Okay. 10 million right now. No, you have no control, Bodhi. You cannot say you will give them 10 million and they will buy insurance. You have no control on what they will do with the money. I want you all to realize something. Even though I reduced the rate of return, I went from 1 million, I dropped it to $500,000. Majority of you are still choosing $500,000. What does that mean? It's not about the rate of return. It's about the consistency of income that matters. So instead of talking about asset accumulation, asset preservation, asset distribution, I talk to my clients about income accumulation, income preservation, and income distribution. Guys, I want you all to remember one thing. The only true variable that affects your lifestyle, that affects your family, is income. Consistency of income is more important than the rate of return. Consistency of income is more important than rate of return, because your lifestyle cannot fluctuate. Your lifestyle is consistent growth. Your lifestyle is consistent. If your income keeps fluctuating, it affects your lifestyle. So when I sit down with my clients today, I don't talk about assets, I talk about income. We are in the business of creating income strategies. We are in the business of creating income sources, different streams of income. Guys, that is the power of our business. So I don't want you all to talk about assets. I want you all to start talking about income. You will have a better conversation with your clients. Think about it. I sit down with my clients and I tell them, Mr. Client, tell me something. Don't you wish you have more and more income every year? And they will always say, well, Sanjay, yeah, I mean, we would love to have more and more income every year. Okay, how much of your income would you like to be guaranteed or variable? Which one would you prefer? Guaranteed income or variable income? You see, guaranteed income is consistent income. Variable income is based on seasons. If the seasons are good, your variable income is high. If the season is bad, your variable income is bad. The best combination is to have a little bit of each. Some guaranteed, some variable. Guaranteed income, make sure you always have an income stream. Variable income, make sure that when the markets are doing well, you get a lot more. And when the markets are doing bad, it doesn't affect your lifestyle. The best combination is a combination of both. Some variable, some guaranteed. My job is to build guaranteed sources of income. My job is to ensure that your income is guaranteed for your children and your family. My job is to make sure that your income is guaranteed for your beneficiaries. Think about this. When people buy health insurance, who are they actually protecting? When people buy health insurance, Who are they truly protecting? They are protecting the hospital, because the beneficiary from the health insurance policy is the hospital. When you buy mortgage insurance, who are you actually protecting? You're protecting the bank, because the bank is the beneficiary. Think about it. Life insurance is the only product that actually protects your family. Critical illness or income protection is the only product that protects you. Whoever is the beneficiary is who you are protecting. So when you buy health insurance, you're protecting the doctors. When you buy mortgage insurance, you're protecting the bank. When you buy car insurance, you're protecting your third party, whoever you have an accident with, you're protecting the car. When you buy life insurance, you're protecting the family. When you buy business insurance, you're protecting the business. When you buy keyman insurance, you're protecting the business. Whoever is the beneficiary, that is who you are protecting. So whoever you want me to protect, I will protect. You tell me, who do you want me to protect? Do you want me to protect you, your family, your kids, your business, your future? Whoever you tell me to protect, I will protect. That's my job. I protect whoever you want me to protect. If you want me to protect you, I'll protect you. That's our job. It's the beneficiary that we are protecting. We never protect the insured. We never protect the policy owner. We always protect the beneficiary. And if you understand that today, you will understand that our business has no limitations. There's a very interesting question that Lady Guan has asked. Do you think children are already feeling entitled and expectations? And I don't want to leave money for my kids. Okay. All right. How many of you, let's do a survey. We've got 1,700 people today. So we're going to do a survey right now. Okay. Be honest, be truthful. I don't know most of you. It doesn't matter what your answer is. Okay. I want all of you all to be truthful to yourself, because that answer is not for me. The answer is for you. How many of you want to leave nothing for your children? Okay. No. Yeah. Okay. Let's answer that question. How many of you want to leave nothing for your children? I want to leave money for my kids, but not $500,000 every year. No, just like Warren Buffett thinks that. No, forget about Warren Buffett. They are your children. I'm asking about your children, not my children. I'm asking about your children. Definitely not you, not me. I will leave something for them. Hope not me, not me. I'm not that kind of parent, not me. Kind of enlightenment I get. I just met one who told me there's left enough, no need to buy insurance. I get that. Fall back, they should work for it. Okay, I want to leave some. Okay, I want to leave a legacy for my child. I want to leave something for them. Definitely want to leave a legacy for my children. Whatever I have belongs to them. Sachin, you're right. Whatever you have belongs to them. I have clients who say they don't want to leave anything for their kids. I feel sorry for those children, because let me tell you something. I'm going to leave everything for my kids. I'm going to make sure my children live a very comfortable life. Because I had a very open conversation once. If every generation is working hard, then which generation is enjoying the money? If every generation is working hard, then which generation is enjoying the money? When you stop your children from enjoying the wealth that your family has, they become rebels. They start spending money that they can't afford to. I want all of you all to remember one thing. Every single family that I meet, every single person that I meet, When they tell me I want to leave nothing for my kids, I actually tell them this. I'm like, I feel sorry for your children because all the other parents are leaving something for their kids. Your kids will wish they were my kids. I'm not joking. Your kids will wish they were my kids. Because I want my kids to be comfortable. I want my kids to lead a life of passion. You know, when we are in school, all throughout our childhood, we have always been told, follow your passion, do what makes you happy. As soon as we graduate from school, as soon as we get out of university, they tell us, forget about your passion, go to work. If you don't have money, you cannot follow your passion. If you don't have money, you cannot do what you like. Think about it. If you truly want your children to live a life of fulfillment, live a life of passion, remove the fear of not having money. If you truly want your children to live a life where they know that they have a purpose, leave money for them. Money is not good. Money is not bad. Money is power. Money is not good. Money is not bad. Money is power. The values that you give your children will decide where they use their power. If you leave values for them, but you don't leave money for them, the values will be lost. Because when you're hungry, you will be tempted to steal. When you're hungry, you'll be tempted to steal. Money is not good. Money is not bad. Money is power. Your values will decide where you use this power. So guys, we are in the business of creating power for the next generation. That's our job. I'm not here to give values to your children. I'm not here to tell your children where to spend money, how to spend money. That is your job. Your job is to give them values. My job is to create power. You tell me how much power you want to create. I will create it right now. $10 million, $20 million, $100 million. You tell me how much power you want to create for your children. I will create it right now. That's my job. Insurance is a child's best friend. Insurance is a child's best friend. Lim, when you said sorry for your children to my clients, I can see that they feel offended. So what? Their children, let them get offended. What difference does it make? They're not buying anyways, right? Move on. You go to the doctor tells you take medicine, and you tell the doctor, no, I'll think about it. What does the doctor say? Okay, your body, your choice, get out, next. They'll move on to the next patient. Move on. If they get offended, how does it affect you anyways? What did I tell you? Your job is to give your best advice, guys. Your job is to give best advice. Rule number 3, give your best advice to anybody and everybody. And number 4, don't care about the results. Next, move on. Their future, their children, their family, why are you concerned? Move on. A lot of clients don't understand this. They think if they buy insurance today, it is affecting you. Guys, I want you all to understand something. If your clients don't buy insurance today, they buy after 1 year, what will happen? The premium will increase. If the premium increases, your commission increases. Why are you in a hurry? Why are you in a hurry? I'll tell you why you're in a hurry. Because if this one client doesn't buy insurance, this month you have no sales because you're not meeting enough people. I want you all to get into the habit of meeting more and more people every day. If they buy, congratulations. They don't buy, move on. Next. If the premium increases, congratulations, we earn more money. I'm in no hurry. I actually tell my clients, Mr. Client, if you don't buy insurance this year, buy after 5 years, even better. Because after 5 years, the premium is higher. Better for me. I'm in no hurry. Guys, I want you to get back into the habit of meeting people. Now, there was one question that did come up, and I do want to answer that question. Sanjay, what do you think about Zoom meetings? We live in a world where we have the opportunity to do Zoom meetings and physical meetings, right? there is nothing wrong in following a hybrid strategy. Zoom meetings are great if you want to have a quick meeting. It's a follow-up. It's great for servicing. But I realized one thing. Zoom meetings, my closing ratio is not very high. Personally, I'm telling you my personal opinion. My closing ratio on Zoom meetings is very low, but my closing ratio in face-to-face meetings is very high. So I like to have a combination of the two. Zoom meetings I use mainly for servicing existing clients, or, having a quick conversation. I just want to review something. I like to use Zoom meetings for that. Doing policy reviews, I like Zoom meetings for that. But if I'm meeting a new client, I'm looking at from a sales perspective, I realize that face-to-face meetings are better. So what I have realized is my closing ratio is very good with face-to-face meetings. With Zoom meetings, my closing ratio is not very high. You can use a combination of the two. Should you do Zoom meetings? Absolutely, yes. There's nothing wrong with that. During COVID, the only thing I did was Zoom meetings. I'm being very transparent with all of you. But my closing ratio was very low. So I had to increase my activity rate, because if my closing ratio is low, I have to increase my activity to be able to continue having my level of production. Now that I can do a combination, I live in a hybrid world. I do a lot of Zoom meetings. And I do a lot of face-to-face meetings. So I'm being very transparent, right? It's what I do both ways. I'm going to ask Harris to come on in about 2 minutes. So Harris, if you can hear in, do come on. I do want to take on the questions that you might have noted down. So guys, if there's one thing I leave you all today with, right? I want you all to leave understanding that in our business, number one, you need to learn to specialize. If you don't specialize, you will lose the opportunity to grow in this business. Number two, learn to spread happiness. Make sure that you're talking about how happiness affects clients. What are the things they need to do to make sure that the family stays happy? What are the things that they can do to ensure that they always stay happy? Talk about income rather than assets. Because when you talk about assets, they will compare you to properties, they will compare you to fixed deposits, they will compare you to other asset classes. But when you talk about income strategies, right? Tell them there are 6 sources of income. I'm not trying to say one is better than the other. Every income source has a different type of advantage and disadvantage. You need to learn to have combination of all 6. I'm not trying to say you need to only have one type of income. You need to have all 6 different types of income. John has asked a question. So before we go into Q&A, John has asked a question. I do want to answer this. Sanjay, if someone who is an introvert, how do you meet more people a day? Guys, first of all, please understand something, that in our business, if you are an introvert about meeting new people, at least meet the people you like. Get into the habit of meeting people that you like. We are never introvert with people we like. We are not introverts with our family. We're not introverts with our cousins. We're not introverts with our friends. We're not introverts with our classmates. And if you are an introvert, learn to ask for introductions. Let other people introduce you. Because when you get introduced, you feel a lot more confident. It allows you to be more yourself, right? That helps. So yeah, that helps. Perfect. Yes, Harris, do you have the questions ready with you? What are the questions that have come up?
Yes, multiple. Okay, so let's start with a question from Eunice. So Eunice asks, how to handle objections where people feel secured by having 3 or 4 sources of income, but they don't need, an annuity or an endowment. So they already have multiple sources, and they feel I have so many, I don't need one more.
Okay, so the conversation that I have with my clients is, you need to learn to convert your variable income into guaranteed income. So when you have properties, you're getting income from your properties. The rental income, majority of the portion that is your rental income is actually depreciation of the asset. Think about it. Let's say you own a car and you rent the car you rent out the car. The car is depreciating every year because you have to maintain it, you have to manage it, etc. So majority of the rent that you receive for the car is depreciation. Your property also depreciates. Think about it. You have to maintain your property, you have to manage your property, and usually after 10, 15, 20 years, you have to renovate your property You have to have major renovation, or you might even have to rebuild your property. So the land might appreciate. The land value appreciates, but the property itself depreciates. At the end of the day, properties need to be reconstructed, renovated, maintained, and managed. So when it comes to property management, especially clients who have a real estate portfolio, I always tell them you need 3 funds. You need a short-term maintenance fund, you need a medium-term renovation fund, and you need a long-term rebuilding fund. You need a short-term maintenance fund, which you can use fixed deposits. You take your rental income, put some of it into fixed deposits for maintaining your properties. You need a medium-term renovation fund. After 5 to 6 years, you need to renovate your property. Otherwise, the rental income will drop. So you buy an endowment plan or a 5-year bond or something that matures in every 5 years or 6 years or 7 years, which you can use for renovation. And then you need a long-term rebuilding fund, something after 15 to 20 years when you have to rebuild your property. Because if you don't rebuild your property, your rental income drops, right? So the rental income that you receive from property is actually because your property depreciates. The value of your property appreciates, but the property itself depreciates. And the only way to make sure that your property continues to appreciate in the future, you need to have 3 funds. A short-term maintenance fund, a medium-term renovation fund, and a long-term rebuilding fund. And that's how you divide that income. So create a system where you can manage your assets. And this is what I told about asset management. You see, when you take asset management as a specialization, you start looking at how each asset behaves, how each asset has got goods and bads, right? So we have got good things that happen in an asset. There are bad things that happen with an asset. And that's why when you become an asset management specialist and you talk about the different income sources, real estate, bonds, equities, cash, commodities, CPF, or what we call provident funds, social security, they all have pros and cons. Now, if you can have that conversation, we are just adding one more source of income that handles all the cons of the other products. So when you do the right mix match, do you realize when you go to the doctor never writes one medicine. The doctor will write a few medicines because the combination usually works better than an individual medicine, right? And that's what I work with. So that's how it works. What's your next question?
Wonderful. So actually, when you touched on the specialization, it's actually very interesting because somebody was asking, I think her name is Mina, if I choose to specialize in, let's say, risk management, will then this be a boundary that limits my achievement?
No, it doesn't. Guys, a specialization basically puts you ahead of your competition, right? So basically, you're telling your clients that I've specialized and risk management becomes your initial specialization. Can you change your specialization in the future? Absolutely, yes. So once you've become the best risk manager, you can then expand into corporate financial planning. Once you become the best at corporate financial planning, you can expand into family office management or into asset management. So you can actually move up or you can move into another specialization. So I want you all to remember one thing, that guys, specialization only makes you more focused in our business. So instead of trying to sell every product, you're not trying to give solutions. You're giving solutions for managing risk. You're giving solutions for corporates. You're giving solutions for asset management. You're giving solutions for family office management. So you're now a solution provider rather than a product pusher. So instead of pushing products onto clients, you're now providing solutions to your clients. So that's the reason why it's always good to have a specialization.
All right, wonderful. Now a question from Jane. Jane asked, so when I meet people at networking events, they ask me what I do. I say, I do financial services. They reply, insurance, ? Right? So what's your advice in answering this honestly, yet avoiding, them judging you?
So the fact is, right, guys, when we go to networking events, right, and Harris, you've probably experienced this, right? When we go to networking events, when they are asking you, what do you do? What they're actually asking is, how should I rank you, right? So if you're a doctor, if you're a doctor, you're an engineer, you're a teacher, you're the CEO, you get a lot of respect. And then if you are, middle manager, then you get a little less attention. And then if you're an Uber driver, a little bit lesser. And then if you're an insurance agent, you're pretty much right just below the radar. So the fact is, when they ask you what you do, they're basically trying to rank you in their head in how much attention should I give you. And insurance, unfortunately, is right at the bottom of that list, right? Or probably not even on that list. So when someone asks me, Sanjay, what do you do? They're looking for a title. And I know that some advisors have become very creative and they say things like, I'm a financial advisor, I'm a financial engineer, I'm a financial doctor, I'm a financial builder. We come up with some weird title, right? Because we're trying to answer that question, what do you do? The problem is, insurance is a product that is absolutely either misunderstood or not understood at all. And when I use the word insurance advisor or financial engineer, financial doctor, whatever creative word, they already know it's insurance. And every time I go to a networking event, I do get asked this question, Sanjay, what do you do? So guys, I'm going to tell you exactly, you could say wealth management specialist. Everyone knows what that means, Balakrishnan. I'll tell you how I answer. I'm going to give you exactly my answer. This is what I answer. I'm like, so let's say, Harris, you ask me, Sanjay, what do you do? Right? Ask me that question. Let me actually give them a proper role play.
All right, Sanjay, what do you do?
So Harris, I'm so glad you asked me what I do, because every time someone asks me what I do, Harris, it makes me think about what I do, because I do so many things, Harris. Just last week, I was meeting with this guy, young fella, runs one of the most successful businesses in Singapore. And he told me, he's like, Sanjay, I have figured out everything in my life. You know what he told me, Harris? He told me, Sanjay, there is nothing that I've not figured out about my business. I've got its growth plan. I've got every strategy in place. My biggest fear is when that opportunity to strike is there, I might run out of liquidity. And you know what I had to do, Harris? I sat down with him and I helped him restructure his portfolio. I helped him restructure a few things. And we created something called a growth fund for him. That's what I did. I created a growth fund. So I don't know what title to give to myself, but I became a specialist in making sure that his business continues to grow. And that's what I do. By the way, what do you do? Guys, do you realize what I just did? I gave a presentation. Whenever someone asks you, what do you do? Whenever someone asks you, what do you do? It is your opportunity to do a small presentation. I just did a small presentation in front of all of you. My presentation changes. My case study changes. Every time when someone asks me, Sanjay, what do you do? My presentation will change. And then I end the presentation by asking them, by the way, what do you do? Simple words. Guys, you can rewatch this video. Rewatch this video, and I want you all to listen to the words that I use. Rewatch this video and listen to my choice of words, because my choice of words is what makes me more confident. When you practice this over and over and over again, you become good in this presentation. You become confident and you become a specialist. So I never give a title, because a title has no meaning. I could give the title of CEO, right? Chief Entertainment Officer. At least I'll have fun saying it. But it has no purpose, right? So when someone asks me, Sanjay, what do you do? I could say CEO, but it has no purpose, right? So guys, I want all of you all to understand that when someone asks you, what do you do? It is your opportunity to do a presentation. The second time you get the opportunity to, when some of your friends, they ask you, what have you been up to? When someone asks you, Sanjay, what have you been up to? That is your second opportunity of doing a presentation. So let's say, Harris, let's try this, right? Another role play. You and I are good friends from school and we catch up for coffee. Ask me this question, Sanjay, what have you been up to?
Hey, Sanjay, it's been a long time. Just want to know what you've been up to.
Harris, I've been up to so much. Oh my God. Last week was so amazing. Last week, I met with this guy, super young guy, but he's so successful. And you know what he told me? He's like, Sanjay, my kids are so smart. They are so good. And I truly believe that one day my kids will probably get scholarship to study at some of the top universities in the world. And Harris, you know, when he was saying that, I could see his eyes sparkle. Harris, it's so encouraging for me to meet proud parents like that. And you know what I told him? I said, you know, today your children make you proud. I want to ensure that they continue doing that. You know what he told me? He's like, Sanjay, if they don't get scholarship to get into the top universities in the world, I want to make sure that they have the opportunity to test their skills. And Harris, last week, we put a strategy together. We created something called a learning fund. So every 2 years, the child is going to go and build on their skills that they are building on. So if they are very good with something, they're going to build on those skills. And we created a learning fund for him that by the time the kids get to university, they are so smart in so many life skills, not just studies, not just in games, but in life skills, that when they are interviewed at some of these top universities, they're considered as all-rounders. They're considered as the well-balanced children. And we created something called a learning fund. Harris, I'm telling you, I've had the most amazing week. By the way, what have you been up to? You see, what did I just do? When someone asks me, what have you been up to? It's another opportunity for me to do a presentation. So what do? I showed you how I use growth fund as an opportunity. When someone asks me, what have you been up to? I used a learning fund. Guys, we all need a fund in our life. We need a short-term fund. We need a medium-term fund. We need a long-term fund. We all want a travel fund, a house fund, a fun fund, a hobby fund. We all need funds in our life to do everything. Think about it. Everything you want in your life, you need a fund for it. You need a fund to buy a car. You need a fund to buy a house. You need a fund for travel. You need a fund for your kids' education. You need a fund for your business. We need a fund for everything. So why can't we create fun funds instead of boring funds? I mean, who's excited about emergency fund? Who is excited about old age fund? Who's excited about creating a health fund? Who's interested in creating something so boring? We need a fun fund, guys. So guys, I want all of you all to understand that we are in the business of spreading happiness, fun, excitement. If you are not excited, if you are not excited about your products, you're not excited about your strategy, if you're not excited about what you do, your clients will not like you. Stop being the snake in front of your clients, guys. Have fun. All right. And I have a lot of fun. So that's a fact. Okay. Yeah, we always need a fun for fun. Next question.
You know, honestly, just going back to that, I actually quite love that you said that they want to give you a title. They want to pigeonhole you into something very specific. But it matters more than just the title. It matters what you actually do and what problems you solve. So I love that. Really, really good.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, a question from Melissa. Melissa asks, so she has a high net worth client with a living trust abroad, right? How would insurance compare with that? Yeah, I'm assuming, so she's meeting her client in the country that she stays. The client comes from another country, already has a living trust set up for themselves and for their kids, perhaps. How would you handle that?
Okay, they're two very different things, right? So a living trust basically is being able to create a source of income or asset management for your kids. But even the trust needs executors, and they need lawyers, and they need accountants, and they need there are a lot of expenses in running a trust. Every trust needs something which is a liquidity. So they need a liquidity fund. So every trust, when I do insurance planning with a living trust, I create a liquidity fund, a fund where children can learn something new. So the question that you have to answer today for me is, number one, do you want your kids to use your money to play with? Because the best way to learn in life is to play with money. When you spend money, you lose money, you learn something. Now the question is, do you want your children to lose your money, or do you want them to lose my money? Guys, I'm in the fund. I'm in the business of creating something called a play fund. When your children play with money, they do investments, they make mistakes, they will learn how to manage money better. So the only question you have to answer is, do you want them to use your money, or do you want them to use my money? So I create something called a play fund for children to play with. And a living trust without a play fund is incomplete. So every time I sit down with a client and they tell me, Sanjay, I have a trust, I have a foundation for my children, everything is taken care of. I tell them, you know what we need to add to that foundation or trust? We need to add a play fund, money that your kids can play with, because when they play with that money, they will learn some new things. I call it the cost of education. When they lose money, it's called the cost of education. Now, the only question you have to answer is your money or my money. So you choose, but we have to create a play fund for them.
Okay, really good, really good. Okay, now a question from Shipra. She asks, so a client is not excited about retiring at 65 years old. How do we then do retirement planning?
Well, most people are not excited about retiring at 65. They're usually excited about retiring at 30, 35, 40, 45. And that's why every time I ask a 20-year-old, they tell me, Sanjay, I want to retire at 25. I ask a 25-year-old, when do you want to retire? They say 30. I ask a 30-year-old, when do you want to retire? They say, Sanjay, 35. So everyone wants to retire in a 5-year bandwidth. And that's what I realized. Everyone likes to retire in what we call the 5-year bands. So I tell them, nobody's going to be able to retire in 5 years. Actually, I hope you can. But if you can't, I want you to at least start retiring. Because when you have consistent income coming from a strategy, you will be able to take some more time off. Every 5 years, I want you to start doing a little bit more of what you like. So for the next 5 years, Harris, I want you to sacrifice just for the next 5 years. I don't want you to sacrifice forever. Just for the next 5 years, I want you to sacrifice. And I want to build a fund which would allow you to start retiring in the next 5 years. So for the next 5 years, I want you to sacrifice, because there's no point in you retiring at 65. Actually, at 65, what will you retire and do? Everything that you want to do in retirement, you can only do it before 65. You want to travel, can't do after 65. You've got back pain, knee pain, some pain. You cannot travel. Let's agree. Number two, you cannot eat anything that you like to eat. Because after 65, you've got blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol. Your doctor will tell you just shut up and sit at home and eat home food. After 65, you want to pick up a hobby. Most hobbies will have to be the boring hobbies, gardening, book reading. You can't do any adventure sports, right? I mean, how many people are going to jump out of a plane, race bikes? All of that you can only do when you're young. What's the point of buying a Ferrari at the age of 65, right? You really want to buy Ferraris when you're 20s, 30s, 40s, right? So you want to enjoy life. The best way to enjoy life is to have some form of income. Because if you spend your income, it will come back again next year. But if you spend your capital, the capital will disappear forever. Guys, listen to me very carefully. If you spend your income, it will come back next year. But if you spend your capital, the capital will disappear forever. Think about it. If you build the right income strategy, you can start to retire in the next 5 years. So my job is to make sure in the next 5 years, you start getting some income source that you can use to enjoy your life. Because even if you spend it, it's okay. It will come back next year. Income comes every year. Capital comes once. If you spend your capital, it's lost forever. If you spend your income, no problem. It'll come back next year. And that's what I do, right? So that's how I manage it, Shipra. It's not about 65. It's about retiring as soon as possible.
Okay, pretty good.
Balakrishnan said something. No. 1 second. Balakrishnan said something. I need to add to that. So Balakrishnan said, it's not skydive, it's skydive. I'd gone skydiving a couple of years ago, and there was this t-shirt. You don't need a parachute to skydive, but you need a parachute if you want to skydive twice. So if you want to skydive 2 times in your life, you need a parachute. But if you want to skydive once, you don't need a parachute, because yes, skydive happens then.
Okay, it's pretty good. All right, we have a few more questions, last few ones. All right, so a question from Jerome. Jerome asks, how do you approach business owners face-to-face? How do you get meetings with business owners?
So first of all, most commonly, when it comes to business owners, the best way to meet business owners is through recommendations and introductions. Please remember one thing. If you want to work in the high net worth space, Every time you want to work with high net worth clients or wealthy clients, the best way to get working with them is to be introduced to them. It's not a script. You can't just call someone and try to get their attention, because we get too many marketing calls on a daily basis. We get too many calls. I can give you the best scripts, but those scripts don't work. Guys, I'm being very transparent with you. If there was a script that worked, I would have told you it works. The fact is, the best way to work with high net worth clients, business owners, is to get recommended or introduced to them. Find out what. This is how I meet business owners. I love going to trade conferences, right? So I go to, let's say I want to work in the oil and gas industry, or I want to work in the healthcare industry, healthcare specialists, pharmaceuticals. I go for pharmaceutical trade shows. I go for health trade shows. I go for oil and gas trade shows. And I usually try to find a client or a friend that is also going to that trade show, because then they will introduce me to a few people. Right. So when they introduce me, that's how I get connected to new people all the time. I go for trade shows, I go for conferences, but not conferences of our business, conferences of my clients' businesses. So I go as a friend, I go as a guest of these guys. I even invest money into going into trade shows, because when you go for a trade show, you will get the opportunity to work with or meet new people. Right. So that's what I do.
Okay. All right. That's pretty good. Okay, a question from Neo. Dr. Sanjay, I'm a freelance swim coach and also an advisor. How do I approach my peers who are other coaches on financial planning?
Tell them, guys, so let's say I was a swim coach, I would tell all my other coaches, I've been working with these families, and I realized most of us as swim coaches think nothing will happen to us. We all want to build a business fund. As a swim coach, I want to build a coaching business. I want to build a structure that will allow me to establish a business. If you are interested, I'll teach you how I'm building a business fund, which will allow me to take coaching to the next level. Because how long will I be a freelancer? One day I need to convert my freelance into a proper business. To set up a proper business, I need money. So I was learning this from a guy. I just spoke to him. Say my name. I met this guy whose name is Dr. Sanjay. He's a crazy guy. And he said, you know what? His name is Neil, right? Harris?
Neo.
So Neo, you need to learn to set up a business fund that would allow you to change from a freelance swimming coach to a proper business in coaching for swimming, our swimming lessons, right? And that's the only way to grow, is learning to convert from an individual freelance coach to a business by setting up a business fund. So just set up another fund.
Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so we have two more questions. One question, which is from Eunice. Eunice asks, when you're talking about risk management, how do you talk about happiness? How do you sell happiness when you're talking about risk management?
You know, one thing that we love in our life, we love the ability to take risk. Mr. Client, Miss Client, without risk, there's no fun. Let's agree on one thing. When we take risk, we get an adrenaline rush. We actually get our heartbeat pumping. Risk is what excites us every day. If your risk is controlled, you will actually enjoy it even more. Knowing that nothing can go wrong makes risk even more fun. So I've specialized in the world of risk management, and I make risk fun. I don't want you to stop taking risk. Actually, I want you to take more risk without the fear of consequences. That's my job. My job is to allow you to take more risk without the fear of consequences. Because if you have the ability to take more risk, we know one thing for sure, your life will be more fun. And it can only be more fun if you're not worried about the consequences. That's my job. I want to make your life more fun. It's not about stopping you from taking risk. I'm actually going to allow you to take more risk without the consequences of that risk. That's what my job is.
Okay, lovely. Last two questions. A question from Nicholas Damien. Dr. Sanjay, how do you shortlist who would be eligible to enroll for BCC course?
Guys, I basically want all of y'all to understand that the BCC program, it's a mentoring program. It's not a training program. It's a mentoring program. As a mentor, I guide everyone that's in the BCC program to get to the next level, right? So I push them to trying to think a lot more bigger and the skills that they require to achieve those thought processes. If you're a new advisor in this business, I've put out a lot of content that is free of charge. Go on YouTube. You can watch my videos. You will learn presentation, objection handling, closing strategies. I've put out a lot of free content in my books, on YouTube. So you don't even have to join the BCC program if you're a new advisor. Because for new advisors, I want you to first earn money before you spend money on learning. First earn, because learning all the basic strategies, I've actually put it for free. Even today's session, the whole purpose of today's session is I want your basics to be available to you for free. I want you all to become successful, at least on your basic skills. Once you have mastered your basics, the next is advanced skills. When it comes to advanced skills, the reason why I created the mentorship program is because I want to teach advanced skills to advisors. So if you are an advisor that's been in the business for at least 2 to 3 years and you have achieved some of the benchmarks like MDRT, COT, TOT, you have achieved these benchmarks. One thing that I want you all to understand is, in our profession, how do you know that you're doing well? We have a benchmark. When you achieve those benchmarks, I know how well you're doing or how well you're not doing. Those benchmarks are very important. Once you have achieved certain benchmarks, the next question is, how do I get to the next level? That's what the mentorship. So I created that mentorship specifically for people who want to push themselves to the next benchmark or push themselves to the next level. So if you feel you are already achieving the basic, or what we call the minimum benchmarks in our business, and you want to achieve the next benchmark, or you want to push yourself to the next level, then you can apply for the BCC program. And I actually interview every single person that qualifies through the application process. So my team would actually have a conversation with you. They know exactly what I'm looking for. I don't run an agency, guys. So let me be very transparent. Number one, I don't know anything about recruitment. So if you have a recruitment question, I'm the wrong mentor for you, because I don't believe in recruitment and I don't do recruitment. I'm a sales guy. I'm a financial advisor and I work on a daily basis with clients directly. I have my own clients. I have my own prospects. I have my own business. I don't recruit. I've never built an agency. So if you have an agency problem, I'm probably the wrong mentor for you, because I don't know anything about agency management. But I'm very good with sales. The one thing that I do know how to do is have conversations with clients that convert into sales. So I'm good with that. And that's what I would actually be able to guide you on. So if you're a person who's looking at management, or you're looking at growing your business from a recruitment perspective, I'm probably the wrong mentor for you. But if you are looking at growing in this business exponentially by yourself, definitely apply, and I would have a conversation with you at least.
Okay, wonderful. Last question. I'm loving today's session. It's virtual. When can I see you physically next? I understand that, as in yourself, Sanjay, you'll be here for a BCC session in March 15th, and then the next one will be high net worth prospecting in April, correct?
So we have got the BCC session. So on the 15th of March, I have the BCC session. So for all the people who are from the BCC program in Singapore, I have the first. I've got the session on 15th of March for BCC in Singapore. So if you are an advisor in Singapore that's in the BCC program, on the 15th of March, we have a face-to-face session. I do have a virtual session on the 7th of April. So that is not a physical session. Right. That is a virtual session, which is on high net worth prospecting. Because what I realized is a lot of advisors that have received feedback, right? That, Sanjay, how do I do prospecting properly? What are the conversations I should have? How do I get involved with the high net worth market? So I did want to I wanted to do a session on high net worth prospecting. I wanted to talk about how to do prospecting and what are the different skills you require and what are the different conversations you can have with prospecting. And this is the first time what I realized was I want you to not just grow in this business alone. So this is the first time I've told my team, let everyone come in the buddy system. So when I was new in this business, my father taught me something called the buddy system. When you're doing well or you're not doing well, when you have a buddy, you kind of grow together. So you push each other, you would force each other to do things. So this is the first time I'm going to do something called the buddy system for a virtual session. I want you to bring a buddy with you who you want to succeed in this business. And I want that buddy to be invested in you and you invest in your buddy. So everyone, whoever comes to that session should come with a buddy. All right. So everyone can buy one, get one free ticket. This is the first time we're going to do a buy one, get one free ticket, because I believe that we all need a buddy in our business to grow. And I want you to all have a buddy that you can grow in this business with. A colleague from your agency, or a colleague from your company, or a colleague from your business in your local country or from another country, it doesn't matter. But I want you to build a buddy system for yourself, because we have bad days and we have good days. And when we have bad days, when we have a buddy, they would help us get out of that bad day. And if we are having a good day, we can share that happiness with our buddy. So this is the first time that we're doing a buddy system strategy, which is buy one, get one free. Everyone that buys tickets for the virtual event will get a free ticket to invite a buddy to come with them and learn in that prospecting strategy, so that we can all grow together in this business. And guys, I truly want us to become the most well-recognized profession in the world. I want us to get that recognition. And the only way for us to become part of that hierarchy of recognition is if we all support each other and we grow together. So I do want that to happen.
Okay, wonderful. That's awesome to hear. So that's April 7th, correct?
April 7th, yes.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Well, we'll come to the end of the Q&A session. So I have a few announcements a little bit later, but I just want you to have, any last words for today's session. It's been about 2.5 hours now. What do you want to, give your last sharing to all those that are still watching us right now?
So I want you to remember one thing, right? Fear sells fast, happiness sells big. Don't forget that. The next thing I want you to remember is, please make sure in this business, you're meeting people you like every day. Don't forget the 4 rules. Number 3, don't forget to choose a specialization. Please learn to become a specialist. Don't be a generalist. When you specialize, you build your credibility, you build your stature. Stop wasting your time on social media and please start focusing on meeting people. Guys, if there's one thing I tell you is, instead of the amount of time that you spend on creating content on social media and all of that, go meet someone. Learn that this business is about meeting people. Please go back to old school. Go back to meeting people, because we are in the business of building relationships. You cannot build a relationship if you don't meet people. Learn to have good conversations, learn to have fun conversations. And remember one thing, our business is a lot of fun if you want it to be. Stop scaring people. Stop scaring people. Please make them excited about the future. The future is beautiful if you plan for it. Guys, I can promise you one thing. The future is beautiful if you plan for it. And let's start this tagline. Insurance is a woman's best friend. It works. We as a profession should be protecting families. So insurance is a family's best friend. Insurance is a woman's best friend. Guys, you have questions, do send them across. I'd love to answer questions. Whenever I can, I will answer them. Give me your feedback, right? Communicate more with me. As a community, let's grow together. I truly want all of us to grow, and I truly want each one of you to hit the highest levels in our business. Our benchmarks is our mindset, right? So how big you want to grow in this business is all here. Clients are putting millions and millions and millions in dollars in our business. If you are not collecting it, someone else is. So keep that in mind. Out of sight, out of mind. So be in front of your clients. Don't lose that opportunity. Have fun. God bless you guys.
All right, wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Sanjay. Now we have the 5 winners for the giveaway. So I finally found out that each winner will win 1 estate planning playbook, right? So this was the Instagram tag giveaway. So we have 5 winners. Our team will be reaching out to you. The first one, we have Fadil_FHM. We have Brighter Life with Andy. Our third winner is Sandra Oon. That's Sandra OON. Then we have Mogan Neswari. And then we have Nicholas Damien. So these are 5 winners of our Instagram giveaway. You'll win 1 estate planning playbook each. So congratulations. All right. Next is, yes, we have our next two events for BCC in Singapore. That's actually very, very soon, 15th of March. So if you're in part of the BCC program or want to be part of the BCC program, you can actually also enroll. I think we have reopened enrollment for the rest of the year. And lastly, the high net worth prospecting session. That's again an online session that would be April 7th, right? So we have a buy one get one free promo, and you can go ahead and get that. And this live session today will also be available for you to rewatch. It will stay in the group as well, right? And I believe finally also we are doing a book sales for those that are new, that maybe this is your first time listening to Dr. Sanjay. You aren't aware, we actually have books available. This is called the Ultimate Advisor Book Bundle. There's actually 8 books available to you. These are hard copy books that will be shipped to you wherever you are. So 8 books for $157 US, right? You also get a few bonuses as well. So if you want to find out about the book bundle, you can go to mentor.sanjaytolani.com/bundle order forms. Again, that's mentor.sanjaytolani.com/bundle order forms. All right, we'll put the link in the comment section later as well. All right, so thank you for coming down to 40 years of Insurance Foundation. We hope you enjoyed today's session. Again, congratulations to our 5 winners. We hope to see you again soon for BCC on the 15th of March, and also for High Net Worth Prospecting Online again on April 7th. Tickets are available right now. You can go get that, buy one, get one free. And also if you're interested in hard copy books to be shipped to you, you can go get the bundle available as well. All right, so thank you again. We'll see you and have a good night, or for some of you, have a good morning. All right, bye guys, bye everybody.